Ladies and gentlemen, K Kim here. Welcome to the Daily Update. Hope you guys had a good day trading today. Market is up 0.2% on the S&P, Nasdaq, and semiconductor led the way. Well, up 1% on Nasdaq, up almost 2.5% on the semiconductor. And they've been struggling this year because they led the entire market last year after the COVID lows. And so we've been seeing some, corrections, nothing big. They're seeing about 10%, 8% or so corrections. And these tech stocks and semiconductor stocks, they've been pretty much kind of seeing those fluctuations, moving sideways, correcting through time. And some of those, extended sentiment had to be reset. And it did that throughout this year, half of this year. And it's good to see Nasdaq and semiconductor to lead again last week and this week. And I also talked about, last week that a lot of these hyper growth stocks, they've crashed down 40, 50% or so this year after making a huge move last year. And that's pretty given. I mean, when you see a stock that goes up like 400%, 300%, like 200% or more in a very short amount of time, you're going to expect to see some big declines. And so unless you're in some of those hyper growth stocks early on after COVID lows, if you chase them, and I know some people, they compose their entire portfolio on these hyper growth stocks like late last year, and they're incurring 40, 50% decline this year, right? While the S&P hasn't budged. And so that's kind of a difficult time to be in. So that's why you don't want to chase, you want to look for value. Anyway, so a Dow is down about 0.5% there. Same with the Russell 2000, same with the banks. Energy did get hit 3.4% down today. Transport down about 1%. Biotech, pharmaceuticals, and emerging market pretty much flat today. Grayscale, Bitcoin getting a little bit of traction here last two trading sessions, up 6% today. Gold, silver, miners pretty much still a pause state. Dollar flat, oil down, treasury bond up a little bit, VIX popped just a little bit there. Let's stick with the spider 65-minute chart here. So we wanted to continue to give benefit of the doubt to the buyers, and that's been the story ever since we saw that my short-term moving average has been reclaimed successfully, and bulls been using it to their advantage. And ever since then, you will see some sideways, some pullback, but you can see market looks to be seeing those up moves with the very, very short-term, pullbacks there. Even today, it looks like we gapped up slightly, came down a little bit, but you can see that that's a micro-term support there. That's the gap area. So that's the first hour, second hour, third hour, fourth hour. We retest that gap area right there, and then we start seeing some dip buyers showing up. And we did see last 3 hours of a bullish turn, and we did print new all-time highs once again today on Spider, making the historical prices at 427.48 today where Spider closed. So what can we expect going into a remainder of this week? Is market extended? Yes, right? And something that we talked about the weekend is that, I don't know where the top is. You don't know where the top is. It's going to be extremely difficult and excruciating experience to try to call the top. If you haven't already felt that, experienced that this year and last year, you probably getting tired of doing it if you're the one who always trying to call top, because this market has been very adamant since the March lows. We did see, before the election last year, on October, we did see about 10% correction or so on the S&P. That was the last time we saw any kind of meaningful correction. And you think it must have another 10 or 15. It should be coming soon. Well, keep in mind, back in 2017, the entire year, market only corrected 5%. I think like 4% or so. And back in 1996, market went up the entire year, only correcting 2 to 3% twice the entire year. I know it's rare to see a year like that, but how do you know? We're in July already. And the most we've seen is, I think, on the S&P, like 5%. And let me double check just this year, right? So you can see, let's see, this is Jan. So this is the new year. So most we've seen is this one right here, 5%, right? 5%. So we're already into more than 7 months into the, or getting into the 7 month into the year, right? So we're seeing similar aspects, similar sentiment to 2017, known as the Trump rally, where we saw about 5% correction or so for about 2 times the entire year. That's all. And you can't even call 5% a correction. It's just a pullback. It's normal market fluctuations. So I could actually safe to say that we've never seen a correction in 2017. We've never seen a correction the entire 1996 and 2017. And right now in 7 months, 2021, we haven't seen a correction this year yet. Is there a possibility we may continue in this throughout the entire year like 1996 and 2017? Yes. So, let's talk about some of the levels, right? So you can see that 425 is the first micro term. We found support there. And then 424. My short-term moving average is residing at 425.27. So we got this gap. Bears need to fill, if they want to see, if bears want to see any lower prices. Market has been grinding and continue to see the sector rotation going on, right? You can see the S&P pretty much flat, but NASDAQ and semiconductor making a big move. And some of these guys been making a big move while the semiconductor NASDAQ's been lagging. Well, they're actually down today, and then you can see NASDAQ. So money's been keep flowing, and you know what I mean? They're rotating to one sector to the another, and that is a great thing because that's how the market is going to be propped up. Because you don't want to see every single sectors and every single indices to come down together. That's when you're going to see a correction. But when you see one sector comes down, one sector goes up, right? Vice versa, and you keep doing that, that's how S&P can be floating higher and higher and higher. And that's kind of what we've seen here since the March lows. Only meaningful correction we saw was right here. That was it. And you can see higher. And because the sector rotation, money is transferring one place to another, propping up the market. Let's get right to the oscillator and see if we can get anything out of this, extract any more information from the price action we've seen today. So oscillator did see a cross here, right? But it looks like we potentially trying to find some support. It hasn't crossed yet, but you can see last 3 hours we did make a move. So if we continue in that going into this week and tomorrow, if we see continuation to the upside tomorrow, this oscillator should cross back up and we may stay on top here for I don't know how many weeks or days, and we want to continue to get benefit of the doubt, right? But is there some kind of shenanigan down move? Obviously 425, 424 is going to provide us support. So for the momentum's sake, bulls, you really want to, continue to see this rally continuing, even if it's lethargic. You do want to see this oscillator crossing back. And I'll tweet things out tomorrow if I see anything. We'll go from there. You guys enjoy this evening and good luck trading tomorrow.